No, it's all over. Building, you have COVID changed our landscape everywhere. We have apartment buildings sitting empty or underperforming. Owners can't do anything. What are banks going to do with apartment buildings? You also have office buildings. It's all over. It's not just Cincinnati, it's Dayton, it's Columbus, it's not just in Ohio. I'm sure Dallas has them. So what's going on outside of regentrification is let's do, what do we do with them now? We have to make them work. And real estate downtown is it doesn't exist. What are you going to do? So where are you going to build? So instead of building, you renovate what's there and you turn it into now housing.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest, Ashten James, is an investor, consultant, and owner of Integrity Services in Cincinnati, Ohio. They do renovation and disaster restoration services as well. And she's currently working on an apartment-to-condo conversion, and that's a big focus of her business these days. You can find her on social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Ashten James. Ashten, thanks for taking the time today.
Thank you for having me, Dylan. I'm excited to be here.
When we talk specifically about a vertically integrated business, right? So from investing to rehab to renovation, and then you're in the niche of disaster restoration as well. Which came first? Did the investing arm come first, or did the renovation and disaster restoration come first for you?
It's a good question. It was almost synergistic, but I was already invested in me. My investing bug was input into me when I was 11, 12 years old. So I always knew I was going to invest. What brought about the restoration part is my niece getting sick and very, very sick from a house having mold. So that led to that. And I like to buy properties out of foreclosure. Foreclosure properties are run down.
Are you buying them at auction, or are you buying them prior to the auction date?
Everything that I bought has been out of foreclosure, so it's been an REO.
Okay. So you're getting it directly from the bank. For
Yes.
for folks who may not be aware of what that process looks like, walk us through. Give us a little bit of gold here. Maybe not the whole bar, but a nugget. For what that process looks like acquiring a foreclosure property from, a bank.
When you buy a foreclosure, you have to have a good realtor. I was fortunate to have 2 good realtors that I worked with. One property I bought as a lot. So one set I bought a house of 4. But everything outside of real estate, from that, you have to work with them and you buy it. You are able to see it, but you don't do inspections. And you take whatever it comes. You have to, it's not for the faint.
Yeah, as is, right?
As is.
When we talk specifically about this segment, so you mentioned working with a realtor. So these were on-market deals that were owned by the bank. Now, what's the communication like with the bank? Is it a typical process where you can make an offer, or do they kind of have a hard line? Hey, this is what we're going to take, and we're not looking at anything else.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
It's been so long. This was back before a lot of things changed, and they took some of them I could negotiate with, some of them took a hard change. The one place I had to pay what they wanted, but I said they had to go in and clean up because the bathtub was being used as a toilet. And it was full of, they had to empty it out. That's a house I flipped. I flipped a few houses. So, there's other ways that you can negotiate besides price. So you have to look at that.
Now, did you, when we talk about renovation and disaster restoration, did you have experience swinging a hammer? Have you worked on crews, or how did you get involved with that side of the business?
Well, my ex-husband worked for Cincinnati Millicron, and he would be on the road. And we had just built a house. My kids are 37, 35, and 33. They'll be 38, 36, and 34 this year. And he was on the road, and I had little babies in a brand new house, and our disposal was stuck. And he was on the road, and I called him and said, "Hey, our disposal stuck. Who do I call?" And it's 9:30 at night. And he said, "You don't call anybody. You fix it." I'm like, "How am I going to fix this?" He said, "I'm going to walk you through it." So being a homeowner, and I was 23 years old, you have to do what you have to do. And we just of doing it ourselves, a lot of sweat equity. Then I bought a house in Floyd Knobs, Indiana, and I was hiring contractors, and they just weren't doing so. I was learning. I was so fortunate to have a contractor that I said, "I want to do this." He said, "I'll teach you." He taught me how to lay tile. And so when I couldn't work with my ex-husband, who was also in my business, we're business partners, he walked me through every step of the way. I've always been teach me, teach me, teach me. Even if I don't do it, I want to know how to do it.
Now, the disaster restoration, this encompasses, pretty extreme circumstances: fire damage, water damage, properties that have faced, extreme weather conditions of all sorts. Uh, how do you get involved in that side of the game? And in many cases, are these investors you're working with, or are these the homeowners themselves?
A bit of both. With the mold, my sister was renting a house, and my niece became very, very ill. She went to the hospital. We thought she had SARS. I think that's what MRSA, and they found out it was mold. Watching your little niece be hooked up to an IV, being injected with this medication twice a day, and not sure she's going to pull through, I took that very seriously. And at that time, and to this day, Ohio doesn't require you to be certified to do mold remediation or any of that. But yet, if you want to be insured, you have to be certified. So I wanted to learn more about it. And then finding that there's mold everywhere. There's the houses sit empty, water gets in there. So I learned about it that way. And then learning in my line of work, insurance companies, because I was managing large apartment complexes and working with owners, a tenant started a fire. You've got to clean that up. So it was out of necessity and out of love for my niece. And when I decided to take the disaster recovery, I said, well, I can just do all of this. And they really piggyback on one another. So if you have a fire, you're always going to have mold, because the fire comes in, they punch holes in the wall, they put the water in, and the house sits empty. Water, mold. It just It evolved, and I take advantage of every opportunity that is afforded to me. Again, if I don't do it, I still want to know how to do it, but I'm still very much involved in that. And now I negotiate also for my clients on their behalf when the insurances don't want to pay out. So I fight for my clients.
You're really in all sides of the game here. When we talk about, insurance not paying out, I'm familiar with like public adjusters. So you're doing something similar to what like a public adjuster might do.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yes, I'm fighting for my client. That's all I'm doing. I'm just fighting for them, helping them walk through it so they can get the best bang for their buck,
Now,
get what they're entitled.
when we talk, pivoting a bit here, when we talk about a condo conversion, which is something I know you're doing right now, the apartments to condos, what's the drive behind this? And then also too, is this a trend that you're seeing, at a greater scale that folks can do outside of Cincinnati, or is this something very specific to that area?
No, it's all over. Building, you have COVID changed our landscape everywhere. We have apartment buildings sitting empty or underperforming. Owners can't do anything. What are banks going to do with apartment buildings? You also have office buildings. It's all over. It's not just Cincinnati. It's Dayton. It's Columbus. It's not just in Ohio. I'm sure Dallas has them. So what's going on outside of regentrification is let's do, what do we do with them now? We have to make them work. And real estate downtown is it doesn't exist. What are you going to do? So
Yeah.
where are you going to build? So instead of building, you renovate what's there and you turn it into now housing, because companies learned during COVID, I could keep them at home. My employees happier. I'm saving a lot of money because I'm not paying all this rent. I'm not paying the electric. I'm not paying the internet. I'm not paying the light bill. I'm not paying to heat and cool this. It makes sense all the way around. Although they need to pass the savings on to us, don't you think?
One of the things that is being addressed in all of this, I think, is we're talking about markets shifting. You mentioned COVID, but then also affordable housing. And as a realtor, licensed in Texas, but also I grew up in northern New Jersey, so I've seen different markets. I think there's more demand for uh, smaller housing, not because people want smaller homes. It's because people want something that they can get into. They want to get into the on ramp of being a homeowner of some kind, right? And so, people are saying, well, I'm putting $1,500 a month into this, one bedroom apartment. I can put 1,600 into a condo or into a small single family home. So I'm seeing, from my vantage point, more people open to that where they might not have been in previous years, where especially pre the global housing crisis, where these mortgages were fast and easy.
People are being smarter with their money. They they want something for it now. They want to see their money working for them, working toward them. We're becoming more educated, we're becoming more aware. So we need to be smart with our money. And hey, I can own this. Instead, I'm throwing this money around, rent's going up. So if I put it into something I own, I'm getting something back out of it.
Yeah, I mean, and two, with condos specifically, you have the massive economies of scale, right? So I think we may start to see, and I don't know because I'm not in Cincinnati, but I can speak for markets in Texas. There's so many multifamily buildings going up and so much apartment renting happening that you've seen like a horizontal trajectory, a leveling off of rents, even going down in some places. And so there's going to be, people looking at, hey, do we do more, alternative housing? Do we do condo conversions, right? And I would not be shocked at all if we started to see, on MLSs throughout the country, more condos for sale. I do want to though dive into what you're working on these days outside of this, which is I know you're doing quite a bit of consulting and then also launching a new project. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Okay, consulting. I'm always consulting with clients I have. They call me. I'm very good at looking at pictures. So they'll send me like, hey, what about this property? I don't like the 1% return of investment. There's ways that you can make that better. And they'll send like, hey, is this the good one? My clients trust me and said, it's not going to work. When we get with our clients, we don't come on board after the property's purchased. We come on board before they purchase it. That
And
way
so
we walk through every step with them.
the typical process from the cradle to the grave of someone who's coming to you, is this someone who's got a personal portfolio themselves and wants your feedback, or is this someone who may be a newer investor and wants to get into investing?
Both. With the new person, they look more to someone who's just getting started or for the first time that requires more hand holding. For a seasoned investor, we know we're talking about like, hey, but we go and make sure they're not buying a lipstick on a pig.
Yeah.
It's really what it is. And we're like, no, you don't want this. If it's here local in the local market, we've driven up to 100 miles. We'll go and say no. But I'll also check out the neighborhood. I don't just say, hey, this is how it looks. I check and see what the market trends are, what the property looks like, what it looks like at night, what the whole 9 yards. What kind of tenant are you going to get in there? Because that's why they're buying it. When I take on something for them, I'm looking at that I'm an extension of them. They're trusting me with their money.
Yeah, I think, the ability to have a third party come in and evaluate, just provide feedback for folks is the whole reason why this space exists, right? Because oftentimes your own set of eyes will start to have bias. I've heard two different camps: the analysis paralysis, and then kind of the cowboy shoot first, ask questions later. And both can have their benefits, but also their detractors. And that's why it's so good to have someone like yourself in your corner, especially when you may be looking at a new asset class like multifamily, if someone has only done single family, or if they're a newer investor in general. We are coming up on time here though, Ashten. Any new projects that you're working on, and also too, how can our audience reach out to you or your team?
Okay, to reach out to me, I'm at Ashten James on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. My website is currently under construction. They told me last night it's going to be another 12 days. I'm excited to see that. I scrapped the whole thing because of the new project. So I have one project I can't talk about because I'm in the process of copywriting and trademarking it. And I'm excited about that one. And then the other one is my client insight system that I created it out of necessity. I needed to be in two places at once. So I'm like, if I do this, because I can't be here to work with my client, and that'll give me a head start. It grew. So then I put it in a trial phase and gave it to some business owners I know. And I'm like, we need to keep this quiet. Of course, that didn't work. And they told everybody. So I've had it trial twice now, and it has an 87% success rate. So it's the client insight system is a profile of your client, and you could take it yourself and you could take it give it to your client. I use it with my students. I use it with myself. I always like to know about myself, and I use it with other business owners because it takes you from negotiation to referrals. With an investor, if you have an investor purchasing land and you like, I really need that. I was in that situation. several years ago when I bought 27 acres. I wanted that particular land and I needed that. I needed to know how I could get my client, how I could get that guy to sell. And I gave them, I had to do the hard work of communicating. I would love to give them this questionnaire now because it would have saved an enormous amount of time. I wound up getting the land, but it's finding out what it's really about. Everybody makes decisions based on emotions, and they'll say they don't. Why does a man buy a car, a sports car? Because when it's somewhere in his head, that means success. This finds that out. How they negotiate, how they communicate, why they buy, if they're serious about buying. It's a whole array, personalities in there, so you know how to create synergy with that person. It shortcuts it for you. It makes it just better for both.
Ashten, thank you so much for your time today. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.